What's good, everybody? Welcome to our Mental Adjustment Monday call. So glad that we've got a couple people viewing live. And for those of you that are watching via recording, we appreciate you guys hopping on with us as well. It is always a good time when we can get online and have one of these calls. I have really enjoyed the last couple weeks that Talon has done. It's been amazing. Man, every time that he gets on, he always has something good to say, and this week is no different. Again, unfortunately, because Talon is a D1 football player, he's got all kinds of stuff going on, especially because it is spring season training, something of that nature. I'm not too terribly informed with how that whole situation works, but I do know he's crazy busy with that. So he has done a recording for us that we'll play just in a minute. But man, it's awesome to see everybody online. And for those of you that are recording, we see you guys. We see the views. So it's always good to see people watching our videos. First things first, man. So I put this out here on our Facebook page that we had a couple big announcements, and I'm sorry we haven't been able to release those yet. We had a lot of stuff happen all at once, and so me and Talon actually sat down today. We did a recording, so we're hopefully going to be throwing that out here soon. We felt that it was necessary to do a recording and not just kind of type it out. So for those of you that are waiting for those announcements, or you're wondering what in the world we're talking about, we will be having and putting those announcements out soon. They're big announcements, so if you don't usually tune into the page or you kind of have our notifications off, I would suggest turning those notifications on. They are super important, as there's going to be all kinds of stuff going on, and I'm super excited about it. I know Talon's super excited about it. So, man, oh man, it's gonna be fun once we release that. So, but hey, without any further ado, I do want to play the recording that Talon gave us, and today we're talking about feeding your hunger.
Yo, what's up, everybody? So today, I really wanted to talk about feeding your hunger. All right, so I'm actually going to jump right into it. So there's four types of people in this world, right? You got the first type, the one that never starts, right? You got the second type, the one that starts but quits when things get hard. You got the third type, the one that achieves some success, but then they become complacent, they get satisfied. Then you got the fourth type, the person that achieves some success, but that's not enough for them. They keep going because they want to achieve more, right? So I really think this is important because this is part of the reason that some people they just stop, right? You see some people like we talked about, the third type of person where they achieve some success and then they stop, right? There's nothing different between these four people. They're all individual human beings or ordinary people. The only difference is one of them keeps going. They keep feeding their hunger. They never stop feeding their hunger. They remain hungry, right? And you have the other three that the first one doesn't feed it at all. They look at the overall message. They're like, man, this is just kind of hard. Like I'm not even going to start. It sounds good, but they don't even start. You got the second type that they're like, oh, I'm hungry. They start, I really want this. They strive for it a little bit. As soon as they hit some pushback, some resistance, they stop, and then, you got the other two, one that achieves some success and then they become complacent. And then you got the one that just never stops. They always want to keep going, always want to keep growing, want to keep getting better, right? And like I said, the thing that separates them, all four of these individuals, is that their ability to continually feed their hunger, right? How motivated are you? Why do people, so let me explain something. Why people use the term hunger, right? Why they use the term hunger as a reference to like your motivation or your drive to go do something. I don't know, like there's some people that are listening to this call that can understand it immediately, right? And there's some people that they don't understand it. So let me break this down real quick. So if you've ever been hungry before, like And I'm not talking about like, oh, you just ain't ate today. Well, even in that situation, you get some physical pain. But I'm talking about like actually hungry, where you might not have food for a couple days. Like it starts doing something to you. Like for real, it starts changing your mind. Like you don't even think straight. You don't think the same no more. Whether that's your thought process becomes distorted a little bit, where you're not thinking straight, or you might even sometimes, and this is why you see people, they go do things such as rob people or go commit crimes, because it changes your mindset. You're like, I want to eat no matter what. I'm gonna do what I gotta do no matter what, right? And that's that no matter what, that right there, that is why they use the term hunger, because to explain your drive and your motivation, because that is the key phrase right there. No matter what, when you're hungry, no matter what, I'm gonna do what I gotta do no matter what. No matter what obstacles come my way, I'm gonna keep going. No matter what I face, I'm gonna keep going. No matter how hard this situation gets, no matter what, I'm gonna keep going, right? And that's why they use the term hunger, feeding your hunger, right? So I really think this is it's funny to me that I look at this and you can really see it in your daily life. And, you know, even me growing up, sometimes, like, I've always been a motivated person. But I'll admit, sometimes there was times when I was younger, when I was that third person where I'd achieve some success and I become complacent, right? Whether that be a coach tells me good job in my sport and I'm training, then I'm like, oh, well, I'm doing good, you know, and I get complacent, you know, or that's, you know, just simple stuff, right? So an example of this, and I'm gonna say a phrase that a lot of people have said, and I've said it myself, you know, and my thought process didn't change about this until I got to college, for real. But, you know, someone says, oh, I'm hungry, I'm starving. You know, if you say, I'm starving, everybody do that, right? But somebody offers them food, they're like, oh, you want some of this food? No, I don't want that. You ain't really starving then. Because, bruh, if you was starving, like, I've gotten to that point when I was in college, I understood what that really meant. Like, my parents used to say, you ain't really starving. Like, yeah, I am. My stomach hurting. And nah, you ain't really starving. I went off to school. I learned what that was quick, you know, where I go a couple days without food. Might go 3-4 days and I ain't ate nothing. Now, when somebody offer me some food, I'm gonna eat it because I'm hungry. I'm starving. I'm really starving. I know what that is now. You know, you're not turning down an opportunity. You're not turning down an opportunity to feed your hunger, right? That is when you're really right. That's different. You know, we're just talking about something small right now, but I'm about to equate this to the thought process and the drive, right? So now we go and we talk about life. You know, you say, I'm starving for this. I really want this. You want something so bad, right? But then as soon as things get hard, or you see the journey that you're going to have to go through, some people be like, oh, no, I don't want to do it that way. You ain't really starving then, because if you really was starving, no matter what, right? No matter what it is, I'm going to face it. I'm going to go down that journey. I'm going to do what I got to do to make sure this gets done, right? I'm not saying this in the sense of like, go do something immoral like that. Please don't get that message from what I'm trying to tell you. Like, what I'm saying is, in that process, yeah, there's a lot of people that sometimes that hunger, that feeling of hunger, the physical feeling, they'll do something immoral because it changes your mindset. What I'm trying to equate this to, right? You could use that same, it changes your mindset, that as a drive, as a fuel, right? Now we're talking about not physical hunger, but your actual hunger. How bad do you want what you say you want? How bad do you want your dream? How bad do you want the things that you have wished for and worked for your whole life, right? How much work are you willing to go put in for that, right? So that's why I'm saying, feed your hunger, right? And it's a process. Like, understand this is a process. Like, when you cook, right, you got to go through many different phases. You got the prep phase, then you got seasoning. You got to let it marinate, right? Especially when you cooking meat, you got to let it marinate. Then you got to make sure the oven heats up, you know, the proper temperature. Make sure everything's right. You got the proper amount of oil on the tray, so, you know, your meat don't get stuck to the pan. You know, then you put it in there, you let it sit for 45 minutes or however long you cooking your meat, whatever it is. And then you take it out, and then you got to make sure your greens is good, your starch is good, your whole meal. And then now you can serve it, right? It's a process. So understanding that, like, feeding your hunger, this is still a process. And this isn't something that's going to happen overnight. And if you're doing this right, this should last your whole life. You should be hungry your whole life. Don't ever get to that point where you're complacent and you're oh, I've done enough, because you've never done enough, right? In your sense, in my realm, the sports world, right? As a Division I football player, there's always somebody else. They're gonna either gunning for your spot. If you're the number one man, they're gunning for your spot, or they're going to come, and there's going to be a time that comes where this person has the physical attributes that are better than yours. It never fails. I've seen it time and time again. But how hungry are you? How much work are you willing to put in? How much are you willing to study this game? That's the difference in are you going to get, like, you look and you see those players that play in the NFL, are you going to get a 15-year career, or are you going to get a 2? That's the difference. The hunger and the work they're willing to put in and things they're willing to go through for that 15-year career to have a longevity, right? They keep feeding that hunger. Like, you look at Tom Brady, he did it all, won more Super Bowls than many franchises, but he it's that drive, it's that hunger in him that he's like, I can't stop. I got to keep going, right? Now, that's like, apply that to your daily life. If you have a job, if you really love your job, like, if this is your dream job, and there's some people that's what you want, that's cool. If you got a dream job you want to work for, that's cool. You know, that we'll talk about the financial security part on another call. That's not this call. But if that's your dream job, that's what you want. Be the best at it every day. Grind so hard. Grind to the point that you're the best, and it's not even questionable. Not that your friend tells you you're the best, but that you can walk around and say, I know I'm the best. I know because I'm constantly growing. I'm constantly working. I'm constantly learning. Don't be arrogant about it. You can be confident in it, but don't be arrogant about it. You know, be humble and continue to grow, because being humble and confident, you're going to always want to learn. You're always going to be hungry. That's the key to the key. Always being open to learning, always chasing that thing, that hunger. When you really have that hunger, you're always going to want to feed it. You're always going to be hungry. You're always going to be like, man, I got to get more. I got to itch. You know, I can't stop. I can't put it down. I want to keep going, because you really got that hunger. You really love what you're doing. So this call today, like, I really want y'all to get, like, you know, we talked about understanding your why, committing to it, having the discipline to see it through, putting the work in for it, right? Now, all of this kind of goes into this, what we're talking about today, feeding your hunger. When you understand to do all of these things, you're consistently going to be feeding your hunger. That's the prep work. Understanding the steps, understanding your why, committing to it, having a discipline. Like, all the developing discipline and developing a routine, developing the steps, understanding the steps, like, all of this is in the process of feeding your hunger, and just could be willing to learn every day, right? So that's the biggest thing with this call. Like, I really want y'all to understand, like, feed your hunger. Don't become complacent. Don't be that person that, oh, I'm starving. Here's an opportunity. I don't want that. I ain't hungry for that. If you really say you want what you want, the path is going to be hard. It's going to take time. It's going to take you prepping the board and cutting and dicing the vegetables and seasoning the meat and letting it marinate. It's going to take all of that. And for some people, that journey might be 5 years. Some people, that journey might be 2 weeks. I don't know. I don't know what your journey is. But what I'm telling you is, feed your hunger. Don't become complacent. Don't quit. Don't be that person that you do all this talking. And me personally, I don't believe in that talking. Like, if I got something I got to go do, I'm not going to tell you. If this is really something I want and God told me go do this, I'm going to go do it. I'm going to go execute. Ain't no point in me telling you and trying to get affirmed by you. This is something that I want to do. I'm feeding my hunger. Now, if you want to join me on this journey, that's a different story. Come on. But it ain't no talking about it. It's either we about that action or we not. So that's the biggest thing about this is, I really want y'all to hear me today, is feed your hunger. Do not become complacent, right? Like, that is, I'm going to say it one more time, because I really want y'all to feed your hunger. Do not become complacent. I really want y'all to hear that today. So I appreciate y'all for your time. Change your mind, change your life. That's the goal of these calls. Like, we want you to change your mind so you can change your life. All right, and make the life that you want to see just become a reality. So appreciate y'all for your time. Hope y'all have a great night.
Again, another great call by Talon, another good recording, and a lot of good things being said just in that couple minutes, man. If you don't know what he's talking about, feel free to go back on our page and look through some of the videos that he's done before, and some of the calls that he's ran. he has laid out this blueprint so far of just how to get from where you want to be, or where you want to be, or where you are, and taking you through the process, right? Because he's been there, he's done that, and it's worked for him. So he's only bringing to you what he's already done himself, to be honest. So lots of good nuggets in there. And again, like I said, it's always good to hear from Talon. Always has a lot of good things to say. Man, I really don't even want to go too much into anything else, just because that was such a good call. If you guys have enjoyed this call, feel free to share it to somebody who may or may not need this. Everybody needs a little bit of encouragement. Everybody needs a little bit of motivation. So if you have somebody that needs that, feel free to share it. And like I said, before we started all this, be on the lookout for some announcements that we're going to be putting everywhere. Like I said, me and Tay had a recording done today. So hopefully we'll get that out to you guys soon, and it will have all kinds of information regarding about who we are, where we're going, what's going to happen with a bunch of things that are coming up. And we hope that you guys will stay tuned for that. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you turn our notifications on. That way you guys can see when we are going live. We will be having a call tomorrow night, 7 p.m. for our Forex education call. We are going to be doing the basics. We're walking through those. If you don't know what Forex is, if you want to know more about Forex, or you want to get better at it, feel free to hop on this call. We just started it last week, so it's not like you're hopping in right in the middle. We literally just started it last week. We are walking through the basics of how to trade and what is it, and really starting to digest that. So feel free to join us for that tomorrow. And then Friday, as always, we have an impactful call, Financial Fridays. Join that. We are walking through economics, and it's a big topic. I know people get scared about it. I know, but feel free to join us on Fridays as we walk through our economics course that we have been building and going through. So, man, other than that, I hope you guys have a great night, and we will see you guys on the next call.